The talking oak. Alfred. Lord Tennyson. Once more the gate behind me falls. Once more before my face I see the mouldered abbey walls, that stand within the chase. Beyond the lodge the city lies, beneath its drift of smoke. And ah, with what delighted eyes I turn to yonder oak. For when my passion first began, that, which in me burned, the love, that makes me thrice a man, could hope itself returned. To yonder oak within the field I spoke without restraint, and with a larger faith appealed than papist unto saint. For oft I talked with him apart and told him of my choice, until he plagiarized a heart, and answered with the voice. Though what he whispered under heaven none else could understand, I found him garrulously given, a babbler in the land. But since I heard him make replies many a weary hour, 'twere well to question him, and try if yet he keeps the power. Hail, hidden to the knees in fern, broad oak of Sumner Chase, whose topmost branches can discern the roofs of Sumner Place. Say thou, whereon I carved her name, if ever maid or spouse, as fair as my Olivia, came to rest beneath thy boughs. Quo. O Walter, I have sheltered here whatever maiden grace the good old summers, year by year made ripe in Sumner Chase. Quo. Old summers, when the monk was fat, and, issuing shorn and sleek, would twist his girdle tight, and pat the girls upon the cheek. Quo. Or yet, in scorn of Peter's pence, and numbered bead, and shrift, bluff Harry broke into the spence and turned the cowls adrift. Quo. And I have seen some score of those fresh faces that would thrive when his man-minded offset rose to chase the deer at 5. Quo. And all that from the town would stroll, till that wild wind made work in which the gloomy brewer's soul went by me, like a stork. Quo. The slight she slips of royal blood, and others, passing praise, straight-laced, but all too full in but for puritanic stays. Quo. And I have shadowed many a group of beauties, that were born in teacup times of hood and hoop, or while the patch was worn. Quo. And, leg and arm with love knots gay about me leaped and laughed the modish Cupid of the day, and shrilled his tinsel shaft. Quo. I swear, and else may insects prick each leaf into a gall. This girl, for whom your heart is sick, is 3 times worth them all. Quo. For those and theirs, by nature's law, have faded long ago. But in these latter springs I saw your own Olivia blow. Quo. From when she gamboled on the greens a baby germ, to when the maiden blossoms of her teens could number 5 from 10. Quo. I swear, by leaf, and wind, and rain, and hear me with thine ears, that, though I circle in the grain 500 rings of years. Quo. Yet, since I first could cast a shade, did never creature pass so slightly, musically made, so light upon the grass. Quo. For as to fairies, that will flit to make the greensward fresh, I hold them exquisitely knit, but far too spare of flesh. Quo. Oh, hide thy knotted knees in fern, and overlook the chase, and from thy topmost branch discern the roofs of Sumner Place. But thou, whereon I carved her name, that oft hast heard my vows, declare when last Olivia came to sport beneath thy boughs. Quo. Oh, yesterday, you know, the fair was holden at the town. Her father left his good armchair, and rode his hunter down. Quo. And with him Albert came on his. I looked at him with joy, as cowslip unto oxlip is, so seems she to the boy. Quo. An hour had passed and, sitting straight within the low-wheeled chaise, her mother trundled to the gate behind the dappled greys. Quo. But as for her, she stayed at home, and on the roof she went, and down the way you used to come, she looked with discontent. Quo. She left the novel half uncut upon the rosewood shelf. She left the new piano shut, she could not please herself. Quo. Then ran she, gamsome as the colt, and livelier than a lark she sent her voice through all the holt before her, and the park. Quo. A light wind chased her on the wing, and in the chase grew wild, as close as might be would he cling about the darling child. Quo. But light as any wind that blows so fleetly did she stir, the flower, She touched dawn, dipped and rose, and turned to look at her. Ampersand quo. And here she came, and round me played, and sang to me the whole of those 3 stanzas that she made about my giant bowl. Ampersand quo. And in a fit of frolic mirth she strove to span my waist. Alas, I was so broad of girth, I could not be embraced. Ampersand quo. I wished myself the fair young beech that here beside me stands, that round me, clasping each in each, she might have locked her hands. Ampersand quo. Yet seemed the pressure thrice as sweet as woodbine's fragile hold, or when I feel about my feet the buried briny fold. Ampersand quo. O muffle round thy knees with fern, and shadow Sumner Chase. Long may thy topmost branch discern the roofs of Sumner Place. But tell me, did she read the name I carved with many vows when last with throbbing heart I came to rest beneath thy boughs? Ampersand quo. Oh yes, she wandered round and round these knotted knees of mine, and found, and kissed the name she found, and sweetly murmured thine. Ampersand quo. A teardrop trembled from its source, and down my surface crept. My sense of touch is something coarse, but I believe she wept. Ampersand quo. Then flushed her cheek with rosy light, she glanced across the plain. But not a creature was in sight, she kissed me once again. Ampersand quo. Her kisses were so close and kind, that, trust me on my word, hardwood I am, and wrinkled rind, but yet my sap was stirred. Ampersand quo. And even into my inmost ring a pleasure I discerned, like those blind motions of the spring, that show the year is turned. Ampersand quo. Thrice happy he that may caress the ringlet's waving balm the cushions of whose touch may press the maiden's tender palm. Ampersand quo. I, rooted here among the groves, but languidly adjust my vapid vegetable loves with anthers and with dust. Ampersand quo. For my friend, the days were brief whereof the poets talk, when that, which breathes within the leaf, could slip its spark and walk. Ampersand quo. But could I, as in times foregone, from spray, and branch, and stem, have sucked and gathered into one the life that spreads in them. Ampersand quo. She had not found me so remiss, but lightly issuing through, I would have paid her kiss for kiss, with usury thereto. Ampersand quo. O flourish high, with leafy towers, and overlook the lea, pursue thy loves among the bowers, but leave thou mine to me. O flourish, hidden deep in fern, old oak, I love thee well? 1,000 thanks for what I learned and what remains to tell. Ampersand quo. Oh, 'tis little more, the day was warm. At last, tired out with play, she sank her head upon her arm and at my feet she lay. Ampersand quo. Her eyelids dropped their silken eaves, I breathed upon her eyes through all the summer of my leaves a welcome mixed with sighs. Ampersand quo. I took the swarming sound of life the music from the town the murmurs of the drum and fife and lulled them in my own. Ampersand quo. Sometimes I let a sunbeam slip, to light her shaded eye. A second flutter drowned her lip like a golden butterfly. Ampersand quo. A third would glimmer on her neck to make the necklace shine. Another slid, a sunny fleck, from head to ankle fine. Ampersand quo. Then close and dark my arms I spread, and shadowed all her drop dews upon her golden head, an acorn in her breast. Ampersand quo. But in a pet she started up, and plucked it out, and drew my little oakling from the cup, and flung him in the dew. Ampersand quo. And yet it was a graceful gift I felt a pang within us when I see the woodman lift his axe to slay my kin. Ampersand quo. I shook him down because he was the finest on the tree. He lies beside thee on the grass. Oh, kiss him once for me. Ampersand quo. Oh, kiss him twice and thrice for me, that have no lips to kiss, for never yet was oak on leaf shall grow so fair as this. Step deeper yet in herb and fern, look further through the chase, spread upward till thy boughs discern the front of Sumner Place. This fruit of thine by love is blessed, that but a moment lay where fairer fruit of love may rest some happy future day. I kiss it twice, I kiss it thrice, the warmth it thence shall win to riper life may magnetize the baby oak within. But thou, while kingdoms overset, or lapse from hand to hand, thou leaf shall never fail, nor yet thine acorn in the land. May never saw dismember thee, nor wielded axe disjoint, that art the fairest spoken tree from here to Lizard Point. O rock upon thy tory top, all throats that gurgle sweet, all starry culmination drop balm dews to bathe thy feet. All grass of silky feather grow dash dash, and while he sinks or swells the full south breeze around thee blow the sound of minster bells. The fat earth feed thy bronchi root, that under deeply strikes. The northern morning o'er thee shoot, high up, in silver spikes. Nor ever lightning char thy grain, but, rolling as in sleep, low thunders bring the mellow rain, that makes thee broad and deep. And hear me swear a solemn oath, that only by thy side will I to Olive plight my troth, and gain her for my bride. And when my marriage morn may fall, she, dryad-like, shall wear alternate leaf and acorn ball and wreath about her hair. And I will work in prose and rhyme, and praise thee more in both than bard has honored beech or lime, or that Thistlean growth, in which the swarthy ringdove sat, and mystic sentence spoke. And more than England honors that, thy famous brother oak, wherein the younger Charles abode till all the paths were dim, and far below the Roundhead road, and hummed a surly hymn.